What you doing with all that stuff?
Keeping it forever.
Why don't you just, donate it?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such films as Out of Sight, Out of Mind, and That's Not My Problem Anymore. Well, here's the thing. We've all been sold this narrative that if you donate your gently used goods, then they'll get a second life with some deserving individual. But in the same way that people often donate unusable food to the food bank, people also often donate unusable goods to donation centers, whether it be fast fashion, electronics, or appliances. Because let's get something straight. Clothing that has rips or is dirty and stretched out, electronics with broken screens, and appliances that don't even turn on anymore are not helping anybody, and they're not going to. They're going to end up in a giant ship and they're going to get sent overseas. Out of necessity, haphazard economies have formed around this waste, but it's often dangerous for the people involved and detrimental to the developing economy in the long term. We've seen what happens when countries refuse to take any more waste for recycling, and the tumultuous effect that it can have on the economy until some other developing nation is willing to fill that gap. And what happens when there's no more countries that are willing to take the garbage? There has to be a better way. Let's go to the big board.
Whiteboard. Cornocky pants. This just got...
You bet your graph it did. Instead of the linear economy that extracts, processes, and disposes, we can switch to a circular economy that isn't dependent on exploitation of natural resources and underprivileged communities. Through innovation and policy change and investment into infrastructure and initiatives, we can address many of the issues with the global supply chain.
How come this is the first time hearing about, a circular economy?
Well, that brings me to the charity that I want to talk about for the Project for Awesome. If you don't know what the Project for Awesome is, check out the link in the doobly-doo. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation is dedicated to mainstreaming the idea of a circular economy. To accelerate the transition to a circular economy, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation works to bring positive economic change on a global level. Engaging with decision makers from government, business, and academia, the Foundation aims to inspire and transmit circular economy thinking through insights and analysis, learning activities, and collaborative business opportunities. To that end, they recently set out 5 universal policy goals that provide a framework for national governments, cities, and businesses to create a transition that fosters innovation and decouples growth from finite resource consumption and environmental degradation. They also make useful videos about what is entailed in a circular economy with practical suggestions for consumers and manufacturers. A circular economy isn't a new idea. It's the way nature works, and it's the way many homesteads have run for generations. But to take that idea to the global scale is going to require changing a lot of people's minds. Changes need to be made throughout the process and requires a comprehensive approach. You and I may agree that the planet is worth saving, but the people who really need to be convinced speak a different language. Transitioning to a circular economy could stop the exploitation of developing nations, benefit the planet, and increase the living standard of people all over the globe. To me, that's the very definition of decreasing world suck.